I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into a remarkable book. It is called Crystal Story. It is written by Diane Brooks. This is not just any tale, it is a riveting chronicle of Crystal, a Navy brat turned renowned pianist and the first lawful wife to a bigamist. From youthful shenanigans on Navy bases to a career sparked by serendipity and a marriage that weathered unthinkable storms, this book offers an unfiltered peek into her extraordinary life. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Diane, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thanks so much. I'm really happy to be here.
Great to have you on the show. Let's give the folks at home an overview. What is Crystal's story all about?
Crystal's story was just born from the saying, it's crystal clear. It was an abstract, meaning there's no question. It is right. It is, you don't question it. It's crystal clear. But then my first book said that a few times, and then I turned crystal clear into a woman. And she wasn't prominent enough in the first book. It was crystal clear and all about the dad. Crystal had more to say. So I wrote another book. And oh yeah, she had a lot more to say in the second book. A lot more.
Crystal is quite an adventurous, amazing person. Tell us a little bit about the exploits of Crystal as a journey through your book.
Crystal, the book starts, she's a youngster. She is the only child, and she idolizes her dad. She spends a lot of time on the Navy base. She wanders around the operations room. She learns how to wheedle her affections in the operation room with even the people. They've taught her a lot of things, the telex machine, how to type, and she's there so often that she's just a fixture, and they trust her. Why not? She's never done anything not to be trusted, but she uses that trust, and she does not get in trouble because she never gets caught. I will say that. She does unlawful things, and then she matures, and she needs to do something with her life. And during her high school graduation, she meets the man of her dreams. And I will say, tall, dark, and handsome, which he was. And she has the love of her life, and they get married. The exploits in and out of the bedroom, in and out of the kitchen, the front porch, but that's okay. She only has sex with her husband. I will say that. So that is the part of the book that I am proud of because it's only with her husband.
Yeah.
Now, her husband, however, is the bigamist in the story. And we go on where she cannot have children with this man because he just exploits himself in different directions. So she needs a life beyond this because he is a career military man as well. And this is where she goes to the piano. And the rest of the story is her traveling with her piano and her music and her husband. And it's a whole life. It's a 50-year marriage with him and their life.
Amazing. Did you loosely base this story? Is it based on a real person or just completely out of your imagination? No?
Absolutely not. No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. Well, it's an amazing story. You've created a very lifelike character, that means. So that's kudos to you for doing that because she feels very real. Piano is an important part of her life. It's actually central to the book. Tell us a little bit about her passion for music and how it influenced her life and her choices.
It was a memory thing. She has a really good memory. So if she, if she heard a piece of music on the radio, she could put it to memory easily. Sit down at the piano and she could just make it her own, put her own twist to it. And She played music in school. She played music on the bass. And then when she was so much alone, she always had a piano at home, and it moved with her from base to base with her dad, and then to her own apartment, her own home as a married woman. And she found she could make a career of it.
Mhm.
And it happened quite accidentally at the New Yorker Hotel in New York City on her honeymoon to boot. And once she was applauded and praised for her piano playing, it did become her niche in the world.
Mhm.
And she did become a recording star. She did go to Vegas. She went down to Atlantic City. And it was just something in her life that moved her, kept her busy, and in a lot of times it kept her out of trouble.
Yeah. I
So
see so many cinematic elements in this story, from her musical career to her life on stage in Vegas and Atlantic City, the New Yorker Hotel, as you mentioned. Very, very visual. Have you envisioned this as a movie or TV series, perhaps?
I started envisioning this when I wrote the first book. It's crystal clear and all about the dad. That book, if you dropped my book, Crystal Story, my first book could almost be chapter 40 through 80
Mhm.
of the Crystal book. It is something, there were so many characters in the book. It's crystal clear and all about the dad. And I brought them forward into the Crystal book. And at one point, I have Clark, who is a private detective looking into all of these characters
Mm.
because I needed to know what I was going to say my husband, but my character's Crystal's husband was up to. So we're looking into all of his past. I don't want to say indiscretions because he birthed many beautiful children,
Mhm.
12 children,
Wow.
6 in Maryland and 6 in Massachusetts. So he was so busy. Crystal definitely had to turn to something to keep her busy, and it was the piano. So there are many stories. It
Yeah.
could be a mini series taking up 3 nights. It could be a wonderful movie. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different ways this book could go.
Yeah. Well, your
Would be
work's out there now. So, Hollywood, if you're listening, we've got a great
fun.
story here ready to go, already
Yeah, it's ready
drafted,
to go. All
already
right.
created. Yep, with great characters, compelling characters. Why did you decide to make bigamy a part of this story?
Boy, I don't know.
Yeah,
Boy, oh boy, I have no idea.
yeah.
It's nothing in my past. It's nothing I've ever encountered in my friends or my family.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Just some type of inspiration. Yeah, some type of
Absolutely.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing. What do you hope readers take away from Crystal's story?
The fact that she could be so normal and so helpful and so accomplished, living in almost turmoil.
Mhm.
Her life around her was turmoil, but she kept her life normal.
Yeah.
She did. She kept her life normal. She kept it running on course. She kept even her husband on course because her piano playing earned her a living, a very good living. She had
Mhm.
the money to pursue other things that could keep her husband on track.
Yeah.
He is the one that kept going off track. And yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. Final
Okay.
question. Your book touches upon some of Crystal's unlawful shenanigans, as we put it. Without giving away
Yes,
too much, could you hint at one of these adventures that particularly stands out?
certainly. I think this is where the bigamy comes from. Her husband, all right. He has a name. He is Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
He goes off on one of his being deployed. He is a Navy man. And he calls back to Crystal and says, "Oh, honey, I messed up. I slept with a woman." And naturally, Crystal goes bonkers. But he said, in order to make it right, I married her. So I kind of need you to create this character for me. I know you do things in the back room at the base. So can you do this for me? And Crystal thinking, oh my good glory be, I don't know, but I'll try. It's not that she was forgiving to her husband. It's just that what could she do to keep him out of trouble? What could she do to help him? Help him? And it was a dilemma.
Mm.
And she did. She helped him in the back room of the base. And the shenanigans were in the back room of the base, and the shenanigans were for him. Okay, the next time he's deployed, he writes home and he said, Crystal, I did it again. And she's like, damn you. And she went in the back room at the naval base again, and she created another identity.
Mm.
So this is the shenanigans, and this is the unlawful portion. She creates two separate identities for her husband, where he is fathering children in Massachusetts and fathering children in Maryland.
Mm.
And they are in now New Jersey. She is the first and the only lawful wife he has.
Amazing. Amazing stories, amazing storytelling. The name of the book is Crystal's Story. It is written by Diane Brooks. It's not just any tale, it's a riveting chronicle of Crystal, a Navy brat turned pianist, and the first lawful wife to a bigamist. Along the way, you'll hear more about her shenanigans, as well as her ascension into stardom as a piano player. Diane, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. I enjoyed our chat. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.